Hey boys and girls, it's Mr. Whitley, and today's lesson is for Tuesday the 7th. Hopefully you've been able to get outside and enjoy this nice weather. I've been taking Eli and Quinn for walks in the evening, and it's really helped us all to spend time together and to burn off some extra energy. So your packets are going to be due pretty soon, and I sent out some blue messages to your parents letting them know when packets could be picked up. And so today we are on week 3, day 1, and one of the things that you'll need to do is to read the story, The Pony Express. Don't forget to do your geode writing. And don't forget to do your suffix fun. So your suffix fun talks about like base words and root words. So if you have the word plants, you would underline the word, that's the base word, which is plant, and then you would circle the suffix. In this case, for plants, it would be S, so you would circle the S. Same thing with like the word standing. You would underline the word, the base word stand, and you'd circle the suffix ing. Okay? And then math for you guys, there's a 2-part or a 2-day lesson. The first part, it talks about measuring the length of this kite string. So think about what unit of measurement would we use. So would we use inches? Would we use feet? Would we use meters? Think about what would make the most sense and write that up, okay? All right, so we're gonna jump right into foundations, and I'll pull you a little closer. And hopefully you can see pretty well without any glare. Okay, so here we're still talking about our double vowel syllable. So we're talking about double O's and how double O's make 2 sounds, okay? Like the ooh, like in school, ooh, you really have to say it to hear that ooh sound, and an like as in book. So those double vowel teams, in this case, the double O's make 2 different sounds. And here are our 2 examples. We also know that double O's are not the only double vowel teams to make 2 sounds. We know double O's, OU, EW, and UE can all make the OO sound. If you're having a hard time figuring out where these double vowel teams go, well, you and I have talked about vowel teams that go at the end of the word and how that kind of helps us to figure out where we should put them. If you hear an OO in a word, and you're trying to figure out if you should use the double O, OU, EW, or UE, typically the UE and EW come at the end of a word or a syllable. Like chew, you hear that ooh, that ooh sound. Or blue, you hear that ooh sound. That EW goes at the end of the word, and that UE goes at the end of the word. So think, if you can at home, think of some words that end with the EW or UE that make the OO sound. See if you can make a list of 5 or more words that end with a UE or EW with the OO sound, okay? All right. So for math, this is something that you can make pretty easily at home. Now you're gonna have to be creative to make it, but you guys are all pretty creative, so I'm not too worried about it. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is we're gonna talk about a picture graph. Now remember, with a picture graph, picture graphs always have pictures that represent a specific number. So in this case, let's do a ball. So we could do a basketball. So in this case, we're going to say one basketball equals one game. So one basketball equals one game. And we're going to make a picture graph. So at the top, we're going to come up with a title. So title, we always need to have one so our readers can know what in the world they're learning about. So we're going to say number of basketball games. Oops. So our number of basketball games. So that would be the top of it. And so if you guys have ever played sports, you know, sometimes you may have more games in a certain week or in a certain month than others. So we're going to come up and we're going to say, we're going to give ourselves a couple months. So for the first month, let's do March, April, and May. I wish we were able to play basketball. We can't right now, but we're going to pretend. So March, April, May. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that we played a certain number of basketball games each month. Now, for your key, which tells us what that picture in this picture graph or pictograph represents, we know that one basketball equals one game. So we're going to pretend that we played 5 games in March. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basketballs. Now they don't have to be perfect, just as best as you can. Okay? And in April, we're going to say we had about 3 basketball games in April. And we're going to say in May, we had 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So from our picture graph, we're going to look at our graph and use it to give us information. So if we're looking at our graph here, which month did we play the most basketball games in? Well, obviously we go to our pictures, we go across and we can count, and we just look and say, okay, well, we obviously see that May has more basketballs in it. So May had the most games that we played. Which month had the fewest? That's again obvious. We have April. We only have 3 in there. We could also come up with information like how many more games did we play in March than we did in April. So a trick that we can do is you go to the section that has the fewer amount of pictures. So this April has fewer, so 1, 2, 3. And make a line. Make sure it matches up with the picture above. So there's one up there, one up there, one up there. So we know that's the same number. After the line we made will show us how many more March had. So here's our line. How many more do we have? March had 2 more basketball games in it than April did. So what I'm going to have you do is at home come up with 2 of these picture graphs. It could be how many Legos you have in a certain color, or how many games of Minecraft you've played. Maybe you played Minecraft games, and then maybe you played, I don't know, Mario Kart. Make your key, come up with your key. Maybe you have a little controller equals 1 game. You would have your title, number of video games played, and you could have Minecraft in one column and Mario Kart in the other. Come up with your own, and it doesn't have to be real. You can make it up, it can be pretend, but come up with 2 of those and share them with your parents, okay? So next, you and I are going to talk about some things with our paths. So I'll see you in just a moment.